Good morning. It is 6:39 a.m. on Wednesday, August 31st, 2016. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, the end of August, the last day of what is typically called the summer months, even though we still haven't, officially had the equinox. It's not officially the last day of summer, but the simpler definition of the seasons. When you're just going, it's like, well, summer seems like it's June, July, and August, right? I don't know why I'm doing it in this voice. Is this kind of a knockoff Seinfeld impression? Is that what this is? Um, I had a small victory of sorts yesterday. I went to the hardware store. It was actually a huge ordeal, not being at the hardware store, but just getting there. I decided to drive there right after getting home from work, and it was just the traffic and the combination of the sun's position at that particular time in the direction that I had to go made it a very unpleasant drive. But I succeeded in my objective. I reached the hardware store, and I found what I was looking for there. Now, what I was looking for, let me rewind a little bit. I don't remember how much of this I've talked about in the past, but a few months ago, I realized I needed a better solution for giving Luna a bath now that my current apartment has no bathtub. It only has a shower stall. So I ordered online a little sprayer, this thing, that could connect up to the shower head. And I got it, and the problem was that it's designed so that this button you can use to control whether or not it's spraying. You turn the spray on and off, which is handy. But because my shower is one of the type where the faucet handle only controls temperature. It's the type where you turn it and it's cold, 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 warmer, 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 hot. And so that means that you can't control the pressure. And the base pressure, the water pressure, normally, it's nice having high water pressure. But in this particular instance, the pressure was high enough that it overwhelmed the little valve inside here. It forced it open, and so what that meant is that with the water on, this would spray all the time, and you couldn't turn it off without turning off all the water, which meant giving up your carefully selected temperature. And so, it didn't make it unusable, but it was certainly more inconvenient because, when I'm shampooing Luna, I don't want to necessarily have to deal with the sprayer continuing to spray when I'm not holding it, or to have to turn the water off and then turn it back on and try to find the right temperature again. And so basically, what I was just feeling is I needed a way to reduce the pressure. I don't want to get into like the actual plumbing in the walls. And so I knew that what I needed was a pretty simple thing, but it wasn't something that I could. So, short version is what I knew I needed was a valve to go in between where the pipe from the wall comes out and where the hose for the sprayer comes in. So, ta-da! This is a ball valve, which is, you can see it's open here. And if I close it, you can see that it's kind of a ball shape inside. And so what you can do is by partly closing the valve, it restricts the amount of water that can flow through, reducing the pressure in the sprayer hose. And it worked. I had to buy this piece and this piece so that it could fit onto the hose. So basically, the pipe from the wall goes into this end, and then this piece is so that this hose, which would normally also go onto the pipe, can go onto this piece instead. And as you can see, so I tested it last night, and it works. It did occur to me in my conversation with the guy who worked at the Home Depot that it must be hard to work at a hardware store because people are coming looking for something very specific, and you don't know whether they know what they're talking about or not. Now, I knew what I needed, and this was exactly what I was envisioning when I went to the store, but I didn't, just in the interest of saving time, I didn't know. It's like, okay, well, do I want to go to the plumbing section or the bathroom section? And so I asked somebody just to point me in the right direction. But the problem was, when I say I would like a PVC ball valve that I can fit onto my where the shower head goes, he doesn't know what I want to use it for. And so it may well be that I am not asking for the thing that would actually do what I need it to do. And so there was a bit of a negotiation where the first thing he tried to show me was a stainless steel like on-off switch that could go up there. And the basic idea there was that it would look like it belongs with the shower fitting. It would extend it out a little bit, and then I could pop it open or closed in order to turn the spray on and off. And I was saying, well, no, because I don't want it to go on, off, on, off. I want to be able to reduce it. And he's like, well, you can kind of have it halfway, but I was worried that the pressure would just pop it open again like on the original sprayer. Plus, I didn't care if it was stainless steel or not. So the next thing he tried to show me is something that was basically like the chrome stainless steel version of this valve that I got. Is a little daintier and prettier looking because, of course, with metal you'd have the same effect with without it being quite so big. And it would have worked, except they didn't have one in stock. I would have had to order it. And I'm thinking, I drove out here with the sun and the traffic. I want to go home with the thing, especially since while that would have looked nicer, it might have been something I could leave in place. I'm thinking this sprayer is going to get hooked up a few times a year when I need to give Luna a bath. And the only other living thing that's going to see it besides me is Luna. And I don't think she cares what it looks like. So finally, that was I was able to make my feelings known. And I'm not giving this guy a hard time, because that's kind of what I was getting at when I think it's hard to work there, because they probably have to be in a habit of assuming that people are asking for not quite the right thing. It's one thing if it's someone who just has an obvious air of competence about them, but if that person is probably not asking anyone for help. So when someone is asking them, hey, can you help me find something? They have to go through a series of questions in order to try to figure out, does this person know what they're talking about or not? Are they asking for the right thing? What do they want to do with it? What do they need? And so I get that. And that was part of, so I really kind of identified with his challenge. And just so happened in this particular case that I did know what I needed. But after a few minutes of conversation, we identified that this was what I needed, and I bought it, and I came home, and it worked. And so I feel pretty good about that minor victory. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.